Andy, and I'm here with
Hayden.
And
My name's Bradley.
And we're part of the San Francisco Beacon Leadership Team, or BLT for short.
The BLT is a cohort of other students from various Beacon sites where they develop culturally responsive community events to increase BIPOC students' sense of belonging in their schools.
Today we are here with Ms. Smith, our school principal. We choose to interview Ms. Smith to highlight her for Women's History Month.
Ms. Smith, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
All right, no nervous jitters, camera jitters?
No nervous jitters. They're there, but no nervous jitters.
Awesome. Okay, are you guys ready? All right, without further ado, let's do this interview. Okay.
What inspired you to become a principal / pursue working in education?
Well, it started when I was 8 years old. I'm the oldest of 6. And my mom and dad had children about a year and a half to 2 years apart. And it was one day when I was older, my mom said, "Oh my gosh, when you were a little girl, you really helped me out." And she said, all of a sudden it got quiet, and I walked into the room, and she said, "You were passing out pieces of mail like it was homework." And I was fussing, "You sit down, you be quiet, you're staying after school." And she slightly closed the door and was like, "Oh my gosh, good." And she said she was able to clean the house because I had my 5 siblings sitting down and doing work. And she said from that moment, watching me for that few minutes, she knew I was going to become a teacher. I've always been a lover of children. I had to take care of my brothers and sisters and help my mom out. And I had very good elementary teachers that I adored, the way they dressed, the way they spoke, the way they moved. And I was a teacher's helper for many of those years. And I believe from what I did at my house with my siblings and having really good teachers, I was inspired by my very good teachers in elementary school.
How has your background and culture shaped you?
Well, my background, I'm from, my parents are both from the deep South, South Carolina, so I was raised very differently than West Coast children were raised. And what that means is being highly, highly respectful and watchful of my words and my actions. And my dad was a Baptist preacher, so that was another element. It was in church every week. And just from those religious values and having values from the deep South, it really centered who I am as a person and a Black person. My mom and dad always reminded me of my culture, what society mostly thinks of Black people, and how they taught us to always speak correctly, always speak kindly, always stay in the books. We had to read during the summer instead of going outside playing and throwing water balloons. I was so mad at my mom and dad about that as a child, but I'm so grateful because I understood. I understand now what they were trying to build in all of us.
What challenges have you faced as a woman of color within your profession?
I get asked questions about why I'm here. I have expectations that people don't think that I can attain. Those are a challenge. I've had it all my life, even through college, even on other jobs, not just here. Sometimes I feel like I have to prove myself to know that I went to school just like anybody else. I studied hard like anyone else, and I have desires and dreams and goals like anyone else. Why am I being questioned this way? Why am I being challenged this way? Why do I have to explain myself?
Who are women who have supported / inspired you?
My mother. I have had mentors throughout my career, from being a kindergarten teacher, being a counselor, and an assistant principal. And they have been all women who have inspired me and advised me and supported me.
What are some ways you support BIPOC youth at our school?
Sharing my own story. I was in, I believe it was AVID class last year, and I shared my story of trial to triumph, of things that I had to go through as a woman of color, a student of color, and then a teenager of color, a young woman of color, and now a full-blown professional woman of color. And they face some of the same challenges that I face. And I encourage them, I share my story with them, and they're really surprised that I go through, that they're going through the same challenges that I've gone through. And that's where we meet and the relationship is bonded, because then they can ask, well, how do I handle this? How do I handle, what would you do if you were in my shoes? So just sharing and letting them know we're not that different.
Have you ever felt doubtful? How did you overcome it?
I have a strong sense of self. I do become doubtful sometimes, but my strong sense of self, knowing myself through and through, that is my platform for overcoming.
What is an accomplishment you are most proud of?
I'm going to say becoming principal, because I never wanted to become principal, ever. I wanted to stay a teacher forever. And I thought that I was going to retire as a teacher. And along the way, my dad even, before he passed, my dad even told me, you should become a principal. There's leadership in you. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not. Don't want to. I've had my mentors that I mentioned earlier telling me, you know what, you should think about leadership in the school. I told them, no, don't want to. Friends, and these are people seeing qualities in me that I didn't see in myself. And this principalship happened organically. I didn't seek it out. It just kind of fell in my lap. And I absolutely love it. And I'm ashamed to say that I never wanted to be, because it's so much fun and it's a lot of work. It's very, very hard, but I'm up for the challenge.
What guidance would you give a young woman today?
Learn about yourself now. Don't wait till you're 20, 30 something. Although learning about yourself is going to be lifelong. And there's going to be phases of yourself that change, and you need to learn that part about. But if you can start as young as now, learning about who you are, what your likes are, what your desires are, what you aspire to be, and keep revisiting that, because even when you revisit it, it could change, and that's part of the growth. And to protect the self, think of the self first, and then you're able to help support others.